at the SPRC Summer Nationals drag racing weekend at Santa Pod for round 4 of the 2016 Topspeed Automotive Street Eliminator series. Going into this round, Team Extreme's Matt Smith is leading the points, with round 3 winner Gary Gooding in second place. And starting things off in the first of 2 qualifying sessions is the twin-turbo 33 Willis of Davey Murdoch, and he's facing the huge and recently updated Chevy truck of Redneck Racing's Nigel Hale.
Yeah, we've gone away from the hydraulic lifters now and gone to solid lifter cam, keeping it the same sort of power level, but just making it a little bit more reliable with a bit of luck.
Oh well, Davey off to a flyer on this one, but a relatively slow getaway for Nigel in the truck.
Yeah, we actually got tyre shake. It felt like I was going across a level crossing, so just dropped it into second and third. Overall, our ET was down, but we got a PB on a mile an hour.
Stuart Williams up next in the 3-litre turbo Kama Supra, and looking like he's after number 1 spot right from the off, hitting the ground running with a 764 at 185 miles per hour. The second truck in the class now, and it's the howling hauler of Al Williamson in the right lane. Al perfecting these rolling burnouts, and it's Gary Gooding with the Supra in the left lane. Crewman Ian brings Al to the line. Oh, but Gary's not moving at the hip this time round. No such problems for Al, sounding very strong and getting very close to that elusive 7-second run. Oh, Gary will be hoping the weather holds and the second qualifier takes place. Second member of Redneck Racing here, and this time it's Nick Hale in his nitrous-assisted Mercedes and getting way out of shape from the start. So no great times here. Ooh, I bet that got his attention.
Yeah, it was a bit all over the place, wasn't it? Well, we changed the nitrous setup a little bit, put a bit more percentage in at the start, so we've turned it back down again now and see what happens. It can change so much from coming round from the start, from the pairing lines to the start line. And needs a little bit of change in temperature, and it changes everything.
Something a little bit different now. It's the electric-powered Enfield of 5th gear presenter and class regular Johnny Smith. So strange to not hear any engine noise during the run. He's made some changes for this weekend, so he'll be happy with that. 11.41 for starters. Second attempt from Gary Gooding, and the car's still not getting up on boost on the line. Team Extreme's Matt Smith now in the GTR. Way out of shape, and it looks like something let go with fluid all over the place. Lucky it happened on the start line and not at full speed. The car skating around so Matt can't stamp on the brakes, sensibly eases it to a stop there. Lots of fluid to clean up, but the Santa Pod crew are so well drilled. So what happened?
Well, we found out now that it's actually blown the fitting out of the transmission cooler, and the actual fitting is still in the pipe itself, so it has literally just blew apart. Everything happens so quick, to be honest. You know, we launched, it went straight right, and I just thought to myself, I need to qualify on this run with the, forecast for today. But there was, by the time I got it straight again, I kind of knew that there was something more wrong than that. We have got a spare cooler on board. The boys are in the pits now cleaning the car down, so as long as the weather stays on our side, I can get the car back out. Fingers crossed.
Brother Martin in the Bentley now, and the team still trying to get their head around the setup for this car. But looking better off the line and moving in the right direction now.
We're there. I think we've sorted it. The objective today on the first run was just take all the power out of the car and run at wastegate pressure to make sure that we cured the misfire. Last thing I want to do is put boost in the car, still have the misfire and break more components. So we got A to B. Yes, I think the misfire's sorted now.
And thoughts from Gary Gooding?
Yeah, we have to use nitrous oxide to try and spool our turbo up on the line. We're having problems with the nitrous system. The nitrous solenoid wasn't working on the first initial qualifier. We've got it back now in the pits. It's working now, strangely enough. We don't know why. But it seems like we have an issue now with the fuel solenoid.
On to the second and final qualifying session, and at the moment 2 of the 3 Team Extreme cars are not in the show, not yet having made the bare minimum 13-second pass. Well, this is David Murdoch right lane and Nigel Hale in the left lane. The truck away better this time. Davey with another hard-charging run, and a 7 for the Willis, keeping him in second position. Nigel almost back into the 10s. Nick Hale left lane. Right lane is Martin Smith. Bit of a David and Goliath this one. And the Bentley definitely getting sorted now. Nick running straight this time. And Martin runs down into the 7s, sneaking past Davey Murdoch for that second qualifying position. Al Williamson left lane faces the newly repaired GTR of Matt Smith. Good for Matt to get straight back into the saddle after that very wild ride in Q1. And this is looking a close one. 8.21 for the GTR and 8.40 for the pickup. A pairing we've been waiting to see all season. Side-by-side Supras. Stu Williams in the orange, Gary Gooding in the black. Gary away clean this time, looks like they've solved the problems. The car has run mid-7s before, but it's Stewart piling on the pressure this time, consolidating his number 1 spot with a great 7.54 at 187. So with the cars now off on the 25-mile cruise, here is the final qualifying list with Stu Williams firmly in number 1 position, running close to his 7.4 second PB he ran back at the main event.
Yeah, so we had 2 good runs, pretty stout today. We kind of took off from where we left off after the main event with the same sort of tune. We've still got some issues with the head lifting. We've just limped it through the cruise. The hot start, literally clouds of smoke everywhere. But we got back, so at least if nothing else, we'll give it a go tomorrow and see what happens.
So we're back from the cruise. Did you make it around okay?
Yeah, all good here, mate.
What are we doing on the motor at the moment?
Just checking the valve lash while it's still warm. Save us doing it tomorrow, really.
Al having his barbecue off the back of the truck, and he's been told by his wife not to come home from the track without a 7-second timing slip.
I've been looking for a 7 for some time now, so we need to get one soon. But she's not here this weekend. Unfortunately, she's got to go to a wedding, and I managed to get out of it to come racing. So she threatened me before we come away that I've got to bring a 7 back. So first round tomorrow, we'll have a go.
So, as we look at the ladder, earlier in the week we met up with Nick Hale about to take the Mercedes shopping.
I'm pretty careful on the street, but it does get used a lot. Any event we can go to, we will. And all the families involved with it as well.
So, as we've said before, these cars not exactly built for comfort. Plenty of vibrations, big wide rear tyres, race seats and harnesses, and enough noise to turn every head on the street. Quick trip to the supermarket in a 9-second 434 cubic inch Mercedes. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, it's controllable really. It's on tick over most of the time, and you just got to point it in the direction you want to go. Put it in gear and that's it. Yeah, 0 to 60 now is 1.7 seconds.
Apparently you actually went round Silverstone race circuit in this.
Yeah, well, I did have a go at it. It wasn't the best sort of footage that was put up, but it was fun.
So, with the first cars arriving for round 1 eliminations, there's news that one team did not make it round the cruise and therefore disqualified from today's eliminations, and it's the team all the way from Scotland.
Aye, well, we actually got to the gate on the way out, and we noticed an awful lot of blue smoke on the way out, and the car was getting very warm, so we stopped and there was actually oil coming out of the 2 exhausts, quite a lot of oil actually, so really smoky, really oily, so we decided to just have a wee check, and we found the turbos were pretty well curbed due to a scavenger pump problem, which we found the problem in the scavenger pump had seized up with a bit of aluminium in the scav pump for a previous broken drain on the main event. So a lot of cleaning today now, and we'll get the turbos rebuilt hopefully for the next event, mate.
Frustrating stuff for Davey there. So into round one, and it's the battle of the trucks with Al Williamson in the right lane and Nigel Hale in the left lane. Al doing his traditional rolling burnout there. So into stage. Nigel's asleep on the line here, and it looks like Al all the way. Going for that elusive 7, but he's slowing at half track. Nigel chasing hard, but not quite enough. Al takes the win with a much slower time. Nigel must be kicking himself there. Second Redneck Racing team member, and it's a solo for Nick Hale. He should have been racing Davey Murdoch, but as we heard, damage to the turbos took him out of the competition. Nick had handling issues on the first qualifier, was way out of shape, but no problem here, breaking the beams at 10.39. On board with Johnny Smith here, and he's up against Matt Smith in the Team Extreme GTR. Very quiet on the burnout compared to the other Street Eliminator cars.
So we've got championship leader, Matt Smith in left-hand lane, number 5, 45
The GTR has the speed advantage, but not the consistency at present. Oh, but there goes the GTR into the distance. Even so, Johnny up to the line, crosses at almost 130 miles per hour in a best ever time of 10.51 seconds against a 7.68 for the GTR. Smiles all round on that one, I think. Last season, Johnny was ecstatic to break into the 10s. Now he's down to 10.51, but it's Matt through to the semis in some style. Scheduled by for Stuart Williams now as number 1 qualifier, just taking it easy on this one with those head gasket problems. Martin Smith in the right lane, Gary Gooding in the left lane. Have they cured the Supra's boosting problems? And it looks like they haven't. Martin away first and Gary just driving off the line in the wounded Supra. The Bentley's slowing to an 11-second pass. Did he see Gary hadn't moved, or does he also have problems? Back on board with Johnny Smith now as he returns to the pits.
Yeah, we decided to upgrade the battery pack, so we've added one more pack. Or the existing ones are under the bonnet. We're going to put one in the boot. Had it made, had it finished. The car got delivered to me from the battery manufacturer Hyperdrive on Friday, and we knew we had to do a couple of connections. And Team Extreme, bless them, they lent us all their beautiful facilities because the weather's been a bit iffy. I don't like working outside in the rain with this, really. And the final connection, when we hooked it up to make a 400 volt setup rather than a 300 volt, we had a short circuit and it blew one of the circuit boards, which are pretty fragile anyway. Puff of smoke. I was actually thinking the car was going on fire, but luckily it didn't. No one got killed. That's great. The guy who makes the circuit boards, who runs the company, unbelievably, he was coming to Santa Pod for the first time this weekend with his kids. And before he got in the car, I said, you must bring a battery management system circuit board, some connections, your laptop, anything else you can bring. And we worked till about midnight last night, and Nick, my crewman, has worked tirelessly to just make sure it was okay. Well done, Enfield. 10.5134 at 129.89 miles an hour. Yeah.
Round the cruise, you had a bit of a moment, didn't you?
Yeah, our reliability took a little bit of a curveball yesterday with the transcooler, but so we decided to, I've got no faith in that transcooler, so we decided just to loop the gearbox and not run one, which then meant I focused on the gearbox temperatures, which I've never done before, and found myself in a situation of saying, well, I don't know what they were and what they should be. So I was going to spend the time cruising yesterday at like 95, 97 degrees temp, really, really paranoid, to find out when I got back that's not really an issue because it's not under load.
But the run you put in just now, that was a 760, so obviously you're back on track then, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm back on track, and to be honest, I did lift a little bit. It's about getting comfortable again in the car and just settling them nerves, because just reassure myself that the car is good to go. So, yeah, back to where we want to be, which is great.
Round 2 then, and first out is Martin Smith on a solo in the Bentley. And this is looking much better. Crossing the line in 7.86 at 189 miles per hour. That's more like it. Matt Smith in the left lane, Nick Hale in the right lane. Nick off and gone, but where's the GTR? Still Nick, but here comes the GTR. Look at that closing speed. Will he catch? Yes! He takes him at the line. So close, that one. 9.35 to a losing 9.88. Al Williamson, right lane. Stuart Williams, left lane. Stuart obviously unsure about the engine on this one, but he needs to push it with Al almost in the 7s. And a great on-board view from Al's bumper here. Stuart comes into view at half track, but look at that smoke or steam, not looking good as he takes the win. Looking at the replay, Stuart had it from the start, but somehow I don't think he'll make it out for the semis. Head gasket woes continuing.
Well, that was so close, wasn't it? But you must have enjoyed the weekend even after losing that one.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. One of the best races I've had, I think.
And what's the plan going forward?
Up the nos, I think, a little bit.
Semi-finals then, and with Stuart broken, it's 2 solo runs into the final. Matt Smith first out in the GTR. Losing traction a bit after the launch by the sound of it. And slowing after half track, but a valuable test run for the team. The second finalist will be brother Martin, but after our chief starter spotted drips of fluid coming from the car, Martin was just able to break the beam for the win.
Yeah, Ian very kindly gave us a chance to break the beams. Thank you very much for that, Ian. But yeah, water leak. We've just found another pinhole in the charge cooler, so yeah, get that welded up. At the moment, it's just been patched up, so yeah, it should be all right.
So you're going to put a full power run now?
The problem we have, there seems to be problems at the moment, but long and short of this one, is the car's getting to the 8th well, but it's got zero downforce on the rear. Notice it's got axle separation. We've got the aerodynamics of the rear of the car now are wrong, so the back end of the car is getting very light and starting to move about quite a bit. So we left the power setting the same. We just try to get a clean pass for the data and carry on developing it.
A bit surreal really to be here again. I didn't think I was even going to qualify on Saturday, so yeah, happy days.
That last run was a little bit on and off, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I probably drove out the groove a little bit, to be honest. So it's probably my fault on that respect. But it's just frustrating how you don't change the tune at all, and you go and run a 760, and then you just can't back that up. So 3rd or 4th time lucky.
So it's final time and a guaranteed win for Team Extreme. Matt gets lane choice with the fastest semi-final time and takes the left lane with Martin in the right lane. Martin's away clean, but Matt spins the tyres off the start line. No catching the Bentley now, taking the event with a 8.05 at 154 miles per hour.
Oh, over the moon, real pleased. Yeah, just car got a little bit loose about 1,000 foot again, and just misfire came back. So with the tiny water leak that we had, I just decided to pull the chute and come out of the run. But yeah, enough to win. Shame Matt lost traction off the line.
I know there's still a lot to do, but it must be quite nice to actually think, well, we are actually starting to get somewhere and can actually go out and look to actually win a race as well as just get data.
I think I said earlier, this weekend for us, we've learned a lot more about the car in a handful of runs what we had since we've owned it since in October. You know, we've got some good data. We've got to start working on the aerodynamics of the car now. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck in and getting back out.
So as we look at the points after round 4, Matt holds on to the lead. So join us for round 5 in just a couple of weeks here at Santa Pod's Bug Jam.